Hi, Tracy. Mariana, nice to talk to you.
You too. Nice to meet you.
Yes. So, how did the Girls Trip musical come about?
Um, okay. So it started as maybe a joke in the writer's room. So we did get out the musical the first season, and we were looking for, and I love the Get Out musical. So I was like, I want to do another musical this year, this season. And so I was like, what can we do? Because we are a Universal studio, so it had to be a Universal IP. So we went through everything. We went through like Jurassic Park, just like so many random like Universal things. And then someone in the room, I think this writer Aaron goes, Tracy, why not Girls Trip? That's uni. And I was like, yeah, we can't do my own. I was like, that's weird. And then everyone was like, no, it actually is like kind of funny. We should do it. So then I just agreed to do it. And then it ended up being way better and way more fun than I ever had anticipated. But it started out as a joke.
Would you like to eventually see a Girls Trip musical in the real world?
Now I would. If you had asked me before we did this, I'd have been like, no, what, stop. That's ridiculous. Now I'm absolutely behind it. And while we were even doing it, so many people were like, can we invest in this? Can we get behind it? And I was like, guys, people are really interested in this idea. So maybe, yeah.
Why did you guys decide to focus on the drugs and the booty scene for the song?
Also a joke. I'm gonna shout out the same writer who suggested it, Aaron. Um, her most memorable thing in the movie was Tiffany Haddish's drugs in the booty line. And it was also something that played in every single trailer. So we were like, that's actually one of the most popular lines from the movie. And then, yeah, it's just so stupid. But drugs in my booty made us laugh. And I was like, all right, well, we'll actually give this to real Broadway writers and see what they do with it. And we just loved it. We loved the result of it.
Yes. Speaking of Angie, in a way, when I was watching it, and obviously you can give your point of view and the reasoning behind it, I felt like Mike was trolling Angie in a way and
Mm.
seeing how much she would actually bend because he was asking for things that never matched up to the person he was dating and proposed to. Why was he a completely different person once they became engaged? And probably once if they do get married.
Mm. I'm so happy you picked up on that. Yeah, so we were having a discussion in the room about how what makes women great sometimes and attracts men to women is the thing that ultimately threatens or that they later find threatening about the woman. And how they're like, oh, this person's like very independent and very like vibrant and outspoken and all these things and has a full life and friendships. And then when they lock you down, they're like, oh, but I want them to be a more dimmed version of that. So I can feel more secure and I can feel more, comfortable in the relationship. And so we kind of wanted to explore that because a lot of times we see a lot of like infidelity storylines, or we see like someone's just an overt narcissist and they're like so abusive and so horrible that it's obvious. And we were like, but there's a more subtle thing that happens that's also toxic, which is what you're saying when, yeah, kind of overly critical and stripping the greatness out of the partner, and making them feel insecure about themselves. And he was doing it in like really small, subtle ways, but you could kind of see how he was eroding her self-esteem a little bit.
Yes. I will post this after those two episodes air, but why did you decide that Camille would be the one who is pregnant?
Um, Initially, that was not my choice. I will say this. Initially, it was going to be Quinn. And
Oh,
I had written a whole season with Quinn pregnant. And then um, midway through the writer's room, I got a call that basically said 90% sure third season is probably going to be the last season. And then I thought, oh no. Well, then I really need to like reroute because I wasn't thinking in that way. I had a whole fourth season in mind. So I was like, okay, well, then let me rethink this. And then Camille felt like the right choice because I was like, well, she's our lead. I want to reunite her. This, I guess I can say this, but I want to reunite her with Ian.
Yeah.
And I want to end the show in a surprising, satisfying way because she was also the character that, was basically infertile and was the one who wasn't sure if she wanted to have kids and had a mother who wasn't a good example of motherhood and parenting. So she was the least likely to be a mom. And I thought, well, that might be more interesting. And let's go with our lead down this road. And I would not have made that choice had I had a fourth season, but I'm actually really glad that I got to switch it.
Well, now that you had an idea for a fourth season, what would we have seen in the fourth season?
Oh, see, now it's okay. Well, the third season would have been different. So then the fourth season would have still been a version of Camille and Ian reuniting, but not with the child involved. And we would have seen Quinn as a single mom and then meeting a partner who comes in and they blend families. And so I wanted, yeah, I know. It was a totally different, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
Wow, that's crazy.
Totally different.
Well, I'm glad you were able to have the conclusion. Did you take anything from set once you did know that it was last season?
You know what? I wish I had done more. I'm kind of disappointed in myself that I didn't. The one thing that I did take that I have in my room, Camille has this book at the end of the season that she wrote, and we made all these like fake copies of it and did like a photo shoot and all these things. So I took the copies of the book, they're in my room, and I had the cast sign it, but it's a fake book from the show, and I still have that in my room. But I didn't take like anything else. Is that what you meant, like physical stuff?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay. I was like, maybe she meant like experiences and I'm over here.
No, no, no.
Yeah, no, I didn't. I know the girls probably took like furs and nice clothes, but writers don't get cool stuff. So I took a book. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, what was it like to rework Quinn? Because she was going to be pregnant, but now she has this growth and development in season 3 that she's very independent. She even dresses differently, like sexy, but for herself in a way. What was that like to very much rework her?
Whew. I had to do this in like 5 weeks, so it was very, very tough to reroute her. But I wanted to see Quinn a little different. I was like, we've seen her in 2 seasons, be kind of a hopeless romantic, and not as emboldened and not as like in her power. And so I was like, okay, well, let's see what that looks like, where she tries to be this different type of woman with Kofi's character, but then she's still, at the end of the day, Quinn's a softie and a hopeless romantic. And even if she tries to be a different person, she is who she is. And then you see her kind of revert right back to old Quinn. But we started off, yeah, like you said, very sophisticated and very like I'm a stylist and I'm doing all these things differently. But then by the end, she's kind of herself.
Yes, awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for talking to me about this. Congrats on this, and I can't wait to talk to you about so many future projects.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it.
No problem. Thank you.
Bye.